math is life and life is math. Basically, everything we do in life, you can find a way to look at it mathematically.
Yeah.
With math, there tends to be, and I think, and you again know more about this than me, there's absolutes with most of math. It's this equals that. If you break it down in a certain way, you can see that, yes, this on this side of the equation, for instance, must equal this for it to be correct. So as you look at life choices, I think if people got better at, we all got better at, you seem to have used it, but using math to help us decide what we're doing in life, just as a general topic, bringing that back, I think that is so important. So besides this big decision, have you always kind of looked at math as life and life as math?
Yeah, and I didn't realize that that was unique probably until high school. Um, for me, I love math because I think it's beautiful. I think that there's an elegance and there is a true beauty in the way that mathematics is constructed, in the way that a proof falls together. And then when I'm outside in the world, I'm always thinking about math. Everything somehow relates back to math for me. And it's interesting because, like I said, I realized in high school this is not the way that everyone thinks. That I was weird because this is the way that I approach the world. And you know the classic question from students, right? When am I ever going to use this? Right? Why is this important? And I I would say my answer has sort of evolved through the years to that question. The simplest answer is that schools and countries value mathematics education because it teaches people how to approach problems differently and how to think critically. A student who is excellent at mathematics, who really has set themselves apart from everyone else, can approach problems in new ways, can use multiple angles and attacks at a problem, and is also has grit. Someone who really will attack a problem until they have figured out how to solve it. My lowest level students will look at a problem, say, "I don't know how to do that," and they won't even try.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them, I say, "Well, what if you wrote something down? What if you wrote anything down? Rewrite the problem, write the numbers that are there. Maybe you can see some way that they relate to each other, and then it'll get you down that path." And my highest level students do most of it in their head, right? They'll see it and they say, "Oh, okay, I can see this, I can see this," and it's a struggle to get them. Okay, can you communicate those thoughts? Because that's what is really valuable. And another way to answer the question of when am I ever going to use this, I just taught a unit on Voronoi diagrams, which you can go look up if you want to. Voronoi, Voronoi. It's a mathematician's name who developed this idea. And basically the idea is if Kurt, let's say you open a chicken company, a chicken restaurant, and you have 3 chicken restaurants in Minneapolis, 1, 2, 3. And you're wondering, you say, "Gee, it seems like we're delivering a lot of chicken. I would love to open a 4th restaurant. Where should I put it?" And then there are 2 ways to approach it. One is you just kind of say, "Well, we could put it here, 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 I don't know." Or you can use a Voronoi diagram, which will tell you the exact perfect place to put your 4th chicken restaurant. It'll be the most efficient place that will reach the most number of people. And I ask my students, I say, "Okay, if you are a person who's not great with mathematics, you'll put it somewhere that might be okay. If you are Jeff Bezos or you are Elon Musk, you are going to crunch the numbers to figure out the best place to put it because you are really good at mathematics and you know how to do this." And so the kids say, so if I want to make a lot of money someday, maybe mathematics will be important. Maybe. And so I tell them, I say, most of you probably will not use this mathematics in your everyday life. But if you can recall some specific thing at a moment where it's important, it could make you the #1 recruit for a job. It could make your company more money. It could give you an idea that allows you to start your own company. Like there are lots of ways that mathematics are used that people don't think about from day one until the day that you actually need it. And if it's something you're familiar with, it's like, oh my gosh, this actually has an application. And a lot of mathematics, I want to say 2 more things about what you asked.
Mm-hmm.
One was you said that most mathematics, it has a right answer. What I found is the most interesting mathematics is the one that's a little bit more open-ended. Like when I would be dealing blackjack at the casino, something amazing would happen. Like I deal 3 5 of diamonds in a row from a 6-deck shoe or something. I'm like, wow, what are the odds of that happening? And so I would make a note of it happening. And then And then the next time it would happen would be maybe a year and a half later. And I'd make another note. And I would say, okay, out of the 300,000 hands that I've dealt, 2 times has it happened. So even though I could crunch the numbers about the actual odds of this happening, it was more interesting to me to just see how it happened and what happened and how it unfolded. And that's how I interact with the world. I say, probability is one of my most, I find it most interesting. And so I say, how often does this thing happen? You know, like, oh, I get sandwiched in between 2 cars on my motorbike. Okay, that happens once a week, maybe, you know. And so, okay, well, the odds are about 1 in 7 that I get sandwiched in between 2 cars. And so it's these things that are less certain that kind of make me more excited about it. And in mathematics, like the math that's being researched right now probably has very little application. What we found is science is usually about 10 years behind mathematics. Like group theory and abstract algebra was very hot in the like mid 1900s. And then about 10 years later, they realized that there was applications in chemistry with group theory. So math has always been kind of ahead of things, and it may not be super applicable to what's happening in the world right now, but things usually catch up and it's like, oh my gosh, there's mathematics that explains this now for this application in science or theory or philosophy or whatever you may have. So that's kind of my explanation of why I find math beautiful, and what I hope to show my students once in a while in the classroom. And every once in a while they pick up on it. They're like, oh, that's really interesting. Sometimes.
I think it's great, and the way you're excited. It seems like you're excited about most things you talk about, but you're excited about that. And to tie that back to our first topic, being better at understanding math or wanting to is the difference between finding those few extra dollars per day or week or month or year to pull aside and put into something as an investment, realizing that you can live without those dollars in the meantime. And then if things continue to work the way they have for a very long time, whatever money you put aside will be worth way more money because of math and the way things
Right.
compound. It'll be worth
Mm-hmm.
way more later. And then at some point, if you choose to, you can stop working and you can use
Right.
the money that you've created by just putting some aside and do the things you want to do, have more free time, spend time with people that you want to spend time with, whatever you want to do when you no longer have to work as much or not at all. And that's a math problem. It's a math problem
Yeah.
that you can solve. At how many years do you want to continue to work, or maybe how many years at the estimated end of your life do you want to not work? How do I make this happen? It is 100% a math problem that can be
Yeah.
solved, and people solve it all the time.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. I just in the last 5 or 6 years, I've gotten really involved with some groups on Facebook and in my life in person with my friends as well about gee, when could we retire? Like if we really try to save money, or could we take a year off and then go back to teaching? Or if I just wanted to work weekends at a casino for a couple years, like could I do that and travel during the week? And it's a lot of fun, and it's the math is pretty simple if you understand compound interest. And you have a reliable investment strategy. And yeah, you are exactly right, that putting that, figuring out the amount of money you're willing to invest and the quality of life that you enjoy now, and then figuring out how you want to live your life in the future. It's completely a mathematics problem. Yeah.